We're on the road. Where transportation goes, community grows. Welcome to On the Road with the MTA.
And welcome to another edition of On the Road with the MTA. I'm Jay Gibbons, alongside with Stephanie Kay from the MTA. It's 2024.
I know, it's kind of hard to remember to write that, isn't it?
I know. Can you expect more in 24?
Oh, I like that. Well, I said there's got to be better in store in 24.
There we go.
Yeah.
See, we got all the slogans starting up.
I know, because expect more in 24.
Exactly. Expect more in 24.
Yeah, because 23 was not so good for me. That rhymes too.
Well, it was both good and bad. Because, we lost some valuable and incredibly important family members. And
you lost your twin brother last year, right?
I
lost my mother, who I was very close with. So, And Christmas did not seem like Christmas because there was no snow. It just seemed kind of weird this year.
Yeah, it was weird. Now it's making up for it.
It is. I know. A little slick this morning on the way in, so do be careful on the road. You never know. There could be some black ice out there. It could be scary. But we do have somebody who's not so scary on with us, and it's Denise Diller. She is the executive director right now of the Crossover Outreach. She's been in place since 2021, right around the COVID time. You know, that happened.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. But she's has some great, interesting, and wonderful, exciting information for us. Denise, thank you for joining us this morning.
Well, thank you for having me, and Happy New Year.
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun.
Well, she was actually one of the speakers at our Genesee Valley Rotary meeting yesterday, and she did a fantastic job. I invited her in because, Denise, how long have you been working on this new opening that you had just had on November?
Well, we've been working on it for many years. I actually started with Crossover in 2012. And it was probably about 3 to 4 years in when we received a donation, and we decided we were going to start working toward a new building because our lovely 100-plus-year-old building that gave so much love was just kind of falling apart around our ears. And so I believe it was 8 years or so that it took to make all the moves to purchase the land and get everything ready and then raise all the funds to be able to build this brand new, beautiful building so that we could serve more people in a greater capacity.
And where is it located?
So we're right on Court Street, downtown, 414 West Court Street, between Grand Traverse and Oak. So actually on the exact same plot of land where we have been for the last 32 years. We built this new building 7 feet away from the old one, and then had to demolish that old building to put in the parking lot. So it was a bittersweet day to see that beautiful place go, but it was important for moving forward, especially with serving so many people each year, to have a newer facility that's designed for what we do and is in good condition. So when people come in, not only do they know what we do and they know why we do it, but that they feel loved and that they know that they're worth this.
Well, I know
wonderful new facility.
Yes, the facility was not near big enough because you do some big, wonderful things for the community. And share with us what Crossover Outreach does for the community, because some people may have never heard of it. They don't know what you do, and you do so much. Can you share with us, in a nutshell, I know it'd be hard to do, what all you do for people?
Absolutely. Well, we were started 32 years ago by 3 of our downtown churches, Court Street United Methodist, First Presbyterian, and St. Paul's Episcopal Church. They all came together to create Crossover, and then we were joined by Riverside Tabernacle, which is now Every Nation Church, as a supporting congregation with the mission to show the love of Christ by feeding, clothing, and providing services and programs to those in need, restoring hope and rebuilding lives. So on a daily basis, we help people who are struggling financially with free emergency food, clothing, personal hygiene products, cleaning supplies, household items, all of those basic things you need to be able to present yourself for getting a new job, or to feel good to move forward with those things that you're working toward, to overcome those life challenging issues that everyone encounters, but are so much more difficult when funds are not available.
Well, as a single mother, I had struggles for sure, but I didn't know about a lot of these agencies that are out there. I'm just learning about them recently, but there are so many wonderful things that you will do. I know people might have a lot of pride. They don't want to come and see you. They don't want to ask for help. But if there are people listening that need help, they know of somebody who needs help, how can they reach you to get some of these great services?
So if they've never been here before, all they have to do is show up. We're open for services Tuesday through Friday from 10 to 2:30. And everything we do is out of our faith, right? We don't have an expectation of faith in return. I like to say that I don't care if you're atheist, agnostic, Buddhist, Hindu, Muslim, Christian, whatever. When you walk through our doors, you're hurting. Our job is to make you feel better, so that when you walk through the door, to know that you're loved, to know that you're seen, and to know that our entire job, what we do, is to try to help lift you up. I mean, everybody has those moments in life. We're all a job loss or a health issue or some other life controlling issue away from needing to walk through the doors of a place like Crossover. And we're very cognizant of that. And we want people to know, just because things are difficult right now, that's why we're here. And then we can help guide you. We can get you the items that you need, but help to direct you to other resources as well, so that you can get back on your feet, and then you can turn around and help someone else. And that's the beauty of it, is, it's just, we're in this world together. We're in this all together. And if we can help each other out, what a wonderful world.
Absolutely. And so rewarding too. You can help people like that.
Yep.
So what are some of
Absolutely.
the items you might be needing right now? Do you need like household items? Do you need personal hygiene? What's the best thing you could use?
I mean, on a regular basis, all the things we give are things that that we need donations of. Good quality, gently used clothing, specifically children's pants right now are a big need. We have quite a bit of tops, but we need bottoms to go with them. Pajamas for all ages and stages, men, women, children. We can always use personal hygiene products, deodorant, those types of things. We have a lot of toothpaste right now, but deodorant is always a struggle. Laundry detergent and cleaning supplies are also always a struggle. So those are really, really helpful.
So I know you said there was a opportunity for people that maybe had Girl Scouts or somebody who wanted to do some volunteering. You could always use volunteers to help sort the food and sort those clothing items and do things for you that way as well, right?
Absolutely. We, on a daily basis, need help, but we do the first sort on the dock, but we need help double checking those clothing items, making sure all the buttons are there, the zippers work, and then labeling them with the size, so that when we hang them, it's easier for people to shop from. It's easier for them to find their size. But we always have opportunities. This coming for MLK Day, we're going to have volunteers who are helping to sort food donations that we received at the Firebirds Fight Against Hunger game that they had this past weekend, sorting those and making sure that all the similar foods are together, so when we put them out on the dock or on our shelves.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because if somebody needs to come and help volunteer, help maybe pick things up from you, MTA is providing free rides on MLK Day on Monday, January 15th. So they can take the bus for free, or they can call your ride with a 24-hour notice, so they can get a free ride to your location to pick up those items or to help volunteer.
Fantastic. That's awesome.
So share the word.
I love our community together.
I know. Doesn't it? It takes a village, doesn't it? I love partnering together with people like that.
It does. No, I was just going to say that whole village mentality, we actually, we take those first time walk-ins, but after that, we ask people to have a referral, because we work with over 100 different agencies who are doing wonderful work, helping people to, with drug addictions to become, to help with their addiction issue, to mental health issues, you name those life controlling issues. We work with those agencies, and they can refer their clients over to us to get that assistance with the basic needs. So we really do. It does take a village, and we work hard to work with all of those different wonderful agencies that are doing amazing work in our community, to collaborate with them to make sure that those people who are working with them have what they need to be successful too. I know you mentioned back to school supplies can be so expensive, especially if you have, 4 children in the family, and you have a program that gives kids back to school supplies, which includes clothing and school, like arts and crafts things. And that's a lot. What do you give them for the back to school package? Because it sounds like an awful lot. So that's one of our annual programs. And our goal is that when we send a child back to school, we want them to have everything they need to just focus on learning. So they each get 2 new shirts, 2 new pair of pants, 6 new pair of underwear and socks, a new pair of tennis shoes, and a new backpack with age appropriate supplies.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah. Typically, we're in the 180 to 250 children that receive that every single year, and we are very adamant that it's specific to them, so that if the child goes to a charter school where they have to wear a uniform, then it's their school uniform colors in their size. If it's a school that does not require uniforms, then it's, street clothes, regular jeans, t-shirts, etc. So it's built, each basket, each little backpack is built for that specific child based on the information the parents provide us.
Do you have enough for all the kids that might be in need of these things? And if so, how do you pay for all that?
So we actually, we write for grant funding. We have wonderful people who donate items during that time of year that'll bring us in crayons or markers or any of those types of things, clothes. People will buy them on clearance and bring them into us. It's amazing. But we have wonderful donors, our churches. We're 100% privately funded. So all the programs like the Back to School are funded through private donations and grants and donations of those items that we need as well. So we're going to be doing our Easter program where we provide families with a box of all of what you would consider the non-perishables for a typical Easter meal, and a gift card or a ham or some other protein source for that dinner. But each of the children will get a small basket as well. We send up to 40 kids to summer camp every summer, and we provide transportation and all of that to make sure that the kids can get up north and have that experience. We, as of November 1st, every child that needs a coat gets a brand new coat, hat, and gloves. If we can, we also give out boots, which we have quite a bit of right now. We have our Thanksgiving program where we provide the box with all the non-perishables and a gift card to purchase the turkey. And then we provide Christmas for families as well, making sure that not only the kids have things, but that there's a little something for mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, whoever else happens to be in the household.
That is so nice. I mean, you mentioned all of these things, and I know some of the need is so great. I've seen it. I know it. But how do you provide for all of them? Are there ever kids you have to say, I'm sorry, we don't have enough school supplies to go around, or you ran out of boots? I mean, that's just so many to have to help.
Well, we sign people up. We do a lot of work with the Department of Health and Human Services, who sends names over to us of people who really do need that. But we do have to limit it. Unfortunately, it's not just every single person who calls us. So those annual programs, it's typical, we write for that grant funding, we max it out as much as we can. And then we nickel and dime every purchase that we make, trying to make sure that we're getting the best quality for the lowest price that we can, because every dollar we save is another dollar we can spend on another child. So we work really hard to serve as many as we can with the funding that we do have. You
did share a story with us. I hope you can share on air as well. And that is, you help all these people, and we see it every day, but until you have a specific story, you don't realize just how great the need is. When you said there was 2 little boys, and the older boy said that his little brother was eating till he got sick. Tell us about that story.
Yeah. So every year we send up to 40 kids to summer camp. And the one year we had 2 brothers who were going with us. And their father had been murdered a couple of years prior, and mom had been struggling. They had just moved out of the shelter into a place of their own. And we had our pre-camp party, which we, get all the kids together so that they get to know each other. So it's not so intimidating to get on the chartered bus to go up to camp. It takes 4 hours to get up there. You want to make sure the kids are comfortable with each other before they're getting on the bus to head on up. So, we always have pizza and things like that at the party. And this little guy ate, and he came up to me and said, I don't feel so good. And he said, I think I ate too fast or ate too much. It's like, okay. And so he was feeling a little better later, and we got on the bus and we took the kids up and we dropped them off at the camp. And we went back up to get them a week later. And on the way back, we always ask for the kids to write a story, to share with us, what camp meant to them, what were their favorite things, just to get a little bit of information about what they loved most about camp. And in reading the older brother's story, he was talking about how his little brother ate until he got sick every single day while he was up at camp. And it hadn't clicked for me until that moment that was probably the first time in a long time that little guy had had breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks and had never had to worry about when the next meal was coming. And so when the food was in front of him, he ate until he couldn't eat anymore.
Aw.
And that he just ate himself sick every single day and just not trusting that it was going to be there the next time.
Man, we don't realize how lucky we are, do we?
Right. You don't.
No, just incredible.
Yeah.
And you also had a story.
And you think about the trauma of that, and having to get beyond that as a little one.
Oh,
it's hard.
I can't even imagine. And you also shared a story about the need of clothing, how important that was. There was a woman's story that you shared with us, and that was very powerful as well.
Actually, I think it was so we had a young woman. It was the household. It was the mop story.
Okay. You had so many. That was a good one. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
So, we actually, so when we give household, it's meant to help someone move into a new place. So we asked to see a lease showing you've moved in the last 30 days, but then we provide plates, silverware, cups, bedding, and towels for everyone in the family, small electronics, pots and pans, and kind of a mishmash of what we have. So on a regular basis, we have rugs and different things like that, curtains, etc. But it's a good start to that new home. And we had a young woman, she was 19 years old, and she had just gotten her very first apartment. She'd come in to get some items because she was starting from scratch. She didn't have anything. And she'd been taking the boxes out to her car, and she came back in, and one of our workers, Andre, had brought down this spin mop. It's just this nice little mop where you push a little button and the water spins out, and then you can mop your floors. We'd had quite a few of those donated to us at the time. And this young lady just started bawling. She just broke right down. And it took her a minute to stop crying. And we finally were like, hey, what's going on? Are you okay? What's wrong? And she said, you don't understand. I was up last night worrying how I was going to make my payments, how I was going to pay all these bills with my apartment and the heat and all these other things. And I saw this infomercial for this spin mop. And I thought, someday I'm going to have enough money. I'm going to be set enough that I could have something nice like that. And the fact that she had that was just, it was kind of a sign to her that things were going to be okay.
Sure.
She took, it was amazing. And it's beautiful how those moments happen here on a regular basis. We'll have someone who I had a friend who had her mother's furniture after her mother passed away, and she'd kept it for years. And the one day she called me and she said, it's time. And I'm like, okay. She said, I'm bringing all the furniture in. And so in the old building, we had no space, and we had all this furniture, and it was all stuck and clogging up our children's shopping area. And it was probably about 3 hours later that a caseworker and a family came in, and she said, look, they'd been homeless for X amount of time. They just got this house and they have nothing. We're here to pick up the regular, they just were looking for the plates and silverware and cups and all of that. And they were looking for some clothing and things to get a start in this new place. And we were like, so they don't have this? No, they don't have that? No. And it was everything that they were hoping to get was what she had brought in that day.
Oh my gosh. Meant to be.
So their worker went and rented a U-Haul, came back, and we were able to get them set. And we are a religious organization. It was one of those moments where you're just like, God works in mysterious ways.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard of God winks
all the time.
I've heard of God winks. So I love God winks. Like you said, okay, I gotcha. And that sounds like that was definitely a God wink. Oh, that's so awesome.
And it happens all the time. Karen, our center coordinator, who's been here for 30 years, will say to me, Denise, we need A, B, and C. And I'm like, okay, we'll get right on that, and we'll put something out on Facebook so that we can get it. And then, I had one day that I forgot to post it. The next morning, I went and talked to her. I said, oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot to post that we needed this thing. She goes, oh, that's okay. Somebody dropped it off.
Oh, wonderful. That's incredible.
All right. So it happens all the time. It's amazing. And to meet people and to see how much we have in common, and to understand, to really see that there's so many things that we have not only in common, but that we're all in that position every once in a while. And it's a beautiful thing to have people come back to us and say, hey, you know what? I'm in the position now where I want to give back to you.
Sure. I think that's great.
And so that we can turn around and help someone else. And it's a beautiful cycle. You know, we're all in need of assistance at some point, and pride just gets in the way, because every single one of us needs a helping hand at some point.
At some point. I was a single mom. I didn't know about it, so I didn't ask for it. I mean, I got by, but that would have been so much nicer to have help like that. And like you said, we are all just one incident away from possibly being homeless ourselves. If we had maybe a medical issue, that a car accident, we'd have insurance. And you don't know what could happen to you. So it's just like a little insurance policy. If we help out crossover outreach with maybe some items, or when you outgrow them, your clothing or whatever you might have, food, then it's a little insurance policy. It'll be there for you if you might ever need it.
Just remember to pay it forward.
Absolutely. Always.
Exactly.
Well, that is amazing. Well, I can't thank you enough for all you do to help people get back on their feet and have them get some clothing if they were going for a job interview. And you do so much for everybody. Is there anything else that you want to share with us that you do that we didn't know about?
Honestly, at this point, we're getting settled in, and then there's a couple of things that we plan to do in the future. I'll reach back out to you then, but I wanted to thank you guys for helping us with our bus passes, because that's the one thing when people come in and they have, they've walked or someone's dropped them off and they're leaving with bags of clothing and food and other things. The bus passes that you gave us allow us to provide them a way home that helps them to get those things home without so much struggle. And it's exceptionally appreciated.
So glad to hear that. It just doesn't make you just so grateful to work someplace, Jay,
Absolutely.
that you can help people.
Yep, we're more than just transportation here.
Yep. It's, I think that kind of reward, hearing that is important as the paycheck.
Yep, absolutely.
You're helping people. And you're going to heaven, Denise. You got little angels little angel wings under your shirt. You're going to heaven for all you do.
Well, I'm talking to two people. I'm going to be in good company.
But I do like a little warmer, so I don't know.
I was waiting for winter, and winter finally showed up. So
yeah. Well, Denise, thank you so much. I know you're so busy. We'll let you get back to helping the community out there. And I want to invite you back anytime you have anything else that you would like to share with us. And it's an open invitation for you, okay?
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. And we look forward to giving everybody a tour of the new building, and are excited about the amazing things that we will be able to accomplish because of the additional space.
That sounds great. Now, do you have a phone number they can call? Do you have a phone number they can call in case they do want to take a tour, they want to donate, they want to volunteer?
Absolutely. 810-234-2479. Can always visit us at crossoveroutreach.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram.
And now you're on the road.
At Crossover.
And now you're on the road with MTA with Jay and Stephanie K.
That's right.
Well, thank you so much, Denise. And keep listening every week, because we try to bring you something important, helpful, maybe free the community has to offer.
You've been listening to On the Road with the MTA. For more information on our services and community outreach, visit us online anytime at www.mtaflint.org. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. The MTA, your community, your connection, your way.